On Orphan Sunday, Christians stand for children who have been orphaned. Beloved, in Zimbabwe, there's about 1.8 million plus orphans. Nobody knows the actual figure. The figure I told you, it was mentioned by one of the directors at Social Welfare at an event where they were campaigning on families to do foster care. Now, as believers, there is many things we can do, but I want to encourage the church to consider this. There's about 8 children in one district in Harare who are abandoned. A mother gives birth, leaves the child at the hospital, or abandons the child somewhere. Now, it is not the fault of the child. That child, if they are going to do well, they need a family. Now, what social welfare ends up doing is that they take those children who have been abandoned and place them in institutions if there is no foster care families. So you can be a family that takes those children in and look after them until their situation is fixed or a family is found or whatever. Or you can adopt that child. So it's something which we can do. If you can't do any of those two, you can actually, individuals, families, congregations, home churches, they can actually support orphans. Friends, there's all kinds of things happening in our country. This huge number of orphans I mentioned, many of them are in rural areas. Many of them don't go to school, and they get exposed to trafficking, they get exposed to all kinds of abuse which is happening to orphans. Now, if they are supported, if they are put through school, so you can support those children by putting them through school. So you sponsor that as a family, as a church, as a home group, as an individual, as a company, we are going to support this number of orphans. I can tell you that at university where I teach, there are lots of young people who are abandoning their training because they cannot afford to go to the next level because they have no fees. Whoever was paying for their fees dies. So you can support. There is education, very important. You can support, talk about food. Now, there is about 5,000 to 6,000 children who are in orphanages. And now, look, it's not the best place, but they are there for many reasons. Now, as a church also, we can support those children. I don't know why orphanages pay ZESA or they pay the local authorities. Those are some of the things that need to be removed. And you can advocate if you are in government, you are in whatever, you can say, look, why should orphanages pay for that? But while they are still paying as a company, you can say, for this particular orphanage, we will pay for their ZESA bills. We will provide 10 loaves of bread per week. You can take that as a family, as a home church, as an individual, as a congregation. We can say, we are going to support this particular orphanage and make sure that they are taken care of properly. So there are things you can do. There are many things. I mean, at one time I listed about 40 some things which individuals can do to make sure that they support orphans. So it's our responsibility, friends, as the church to make sure the fatherless are taken care of so that we don't let them just live, because they are going to grow up. I told you there's 1.8 million orphans. Now, these children, one day, they are going to be adults. Can you imagine if they have not been parented? Can you imagine what kind of values which they will have if they have not been helped by some family that says, you now belong to us, you are now part of us, we're going to foster you, or we're going to take care of you, or adopt you, whatever, or we are going to support you. There are families that say, look, I can't foster, I can't adopt, but you can support. Everyone can do something. Grandmoms, children, you are in Form 4, you can help that orphan in your community by saying, I'll help you with homework. Mbuya, while you go to the tuck shop, buy 2 bananas and remember there's that orphan in your neighborhood, and say, I'm going to pass through and see that orphan. All of us can do something. And for pastors or church leaders, this is where we need to drive the message. There is 6 in 10 people go to church on a Sunday. 8 out of 10 Zimbabweans say they are Christians. And we have 1.8 million orphans. Can you imagine if Christians took their responsibility to look after the fatherless, what will happen to our nation? So Christians, let's do something. So as we celebrate Orphan Sunday, let it not be just an event. It must be something we do from January to December.